All right, so we are watching live the Netherlands right now, where President Trump is set to land there shortly. Any time between the next 20, 45 minutes or so, he should be touching down there. We are awaiting his arrival, obviously, for this NATO summit, where there are big questions where he will go, obviously, with this big discussion with world leaders. Benny Gantz is joining us now, former Israeli defense minister and deputy prime minister. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Please do set this up for us. Obviously, in this moment of what appears to be a fragile ceasefire.
Well, all ceasefires, especially when they start, they are kind of fragile, but it's a good opportunity to say thank you for having me on your show, but also to thank the President of the United States, Donald Trump, for not just being on the right side of history, but actually to know how to make history. Israel, together with the backup of the United States, and obviously with this strategic participation by the United States forces, have pushed back a very, very serious threat, both for our country, but also for the region and the world. And I think better days are ahead of us. So we'll go through this fragile era, but let us hope that we can move forward to a more positive situation around us.
Just for the benefit of our viewers at home, Mr. Gantz, we should mention that there's a fairly substantial delay between us and you there in Tel Aviv. The president this morning, as he was departing for the NATO summit, was none too pleased with neither Israel nor Iran. Listen to what he said.
I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, OK, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either.
Now, as you pointed out a moment ago, Mr. Gantz, ceasefires in the initial stages can often be fragile. But the president was pretty hot under the collar about the fact that neither Israel nor Iran seemed to be living up to the terms of what he had agreed to. He's just landing in The Hague in the next few minutes. He's likely watching this. What do you say to the president about what happened earlier today?
I'm sure the president knows exactly that Israel did follow the ceasefire, and actually around 10 something hour time, we were hit by the Iranians, and therefore there was some kind of retaliation. I think it was very minimal one, and I hope that we won't have to do it again. We are absolutely aware of the United States and President Trump's effort to promote this ceasefire and to close this campaign as much as possible, and we do whatever in our capacity to follow it. Pretty much is in the Iranians' hand. If they won't shoot, I guess that we won't do that as well.
Mr. Gantz, I want to play out more sound from President Trump as he was departing there for this summit. This also was earlier at the White House on Iran's nuclear capabilities.
Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there, absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone.
Do you agree with all of that, Mr. Gantz?
Yes, it was badly damaged, and I don't think it's going to be easy, if possible, to begin with, to reconstruct this site in Fordo or any other places. But let me be very honest and strategically honest, I would say. It is only the Iranians that will give up on their military nuclear ambitions. We, and when I'm saying we, is Israel, the Western world, the democratic country, the region led by the United States, must make sure they come to this conclusion as well, and they don't go back to this track. But if they will, a threshold was crossed from our side as well. We not just know how to act, but we are willing to act if needed, and I think this message has landed very clearly in Tehran as well.
All right. Mr. Gantz, you have enormous experience in all of this by virtue of your positions in the military, politically as well. What do you think happens in Iran? Prime Minister Netanyahu, when this first started, was encouraging regime change in Iran. President Trump mentioned it, but now he's saying he's not looking for a regime change. What do you think happens? Does the Ayatollah and the IRGC hang on, or by virtue maybe of the Israeli military bombing the gates of Evin prison, giving some of those political prisoners the chance to escape and get back into the populace, that an opposition movement starts to grow organically in Iran, and perhaps at some point in the months ahead there is regime change? What do you think?
I can definitely hope so. Look, the Iranian society was taken hostage by this radical regime at the end of the 70s, beginning of the 80s. Before that, it was very well connected with the Western world. It was very well connected with us, the Israelis. And I hope that one day we will have peace again. Now, a regime change basically comes from the people themselves. And it is for the Iranian to decide who they want to rule them or to administrate them. We went out on this campaign basically with some operational and strategic aspects to push back the nuclear capabilities, to minimize the ballistic threat all around us. And the regime change, it might be a positive outcome, but I don't think it is really part of this game right now.
All right. Benny Gantz, we appreciate your time today, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Mr. Gantz.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.